What's cracking, lacking, apple scrapples? Shout out to my man Uncle Willie, rest in peace. Um, here now listening to Sporting Combos with Eddie and Mike. This is me, Mike, and I'm here with this man.
Eddie P, how you doing?
I point both ways because I don't. My camera tonight, I mean, right now, if I point this way,
It is an
it'll
opposite
point this
thing
way.
because see, I'm
But on
pointing
the
to my
play,
left, but this would have you believe I'm pointing the opposite. I
right
mean,
on the
technically
play,
that's still my left, but like,
on the playback is always the opposite. So I'm gonna just start doing this. But anyway, what's happening, y'all? We got a nice show for y'all. We gonna talk about the Commanders, of course. Matter of fact, it's a whole NFL show. We're gonna talk about the Commanders. We're gonna talk about the Colts again for the second time this season. They're getting their own topic. And a surprise return. I'm gonna hold it for a little bit longer. But I think most of y'all know, but whoever don't know. Um, we're also going to talk about Commanders front office. Like, what are they doing? Is Josh Harris really trusting the process in the NFL? I don't know, bro. We're going to talk about that. And then end the show with the playoff picture. It would have been nice to start the show with the playoff picture, but since the Commanders, like, you know,
Jolly.
speaking of the speaking of the Commanders, Jayden Daniels is officially out on Sunday versus the Giants. Thank God, because Sunday was an absolute disaster. We thought because
Yeah,
of the way the
fair.
Commanders were coming off versus the Broncos that they'll put up a decent showing versus the Vikings, who were struggling themselves entering their game. But it was the complete opposite. Like the complete opposite.
Yep.
Commanders, as you all know, took the L 31-0. Jayden Daniels also left the game in the second half by aggravating his elbow. And that's where we're going to start, bro. I guess I'll ask this question first. Do you think they regret playing him? And do you think he should even attempt to play again this season?
I no. As far as attempt to play again this season, as long as he's cleared and healthy, I'd like to see him play. It seems like he and his mom want to play for sure. And I mean, I get that doesn't have as much pull as anyway. Um, it, it's football. My issue here is it's not that yes, they're meaningless games. I believe Logan Paulson did a bit on I don't know if they played it on 1067, but it might have been his own podcast where he talked about when Fred Davis got hurt and they weren't going to make the playoffs that year, but he played and he talked about the growth and like sort of things kind of clicking and kind of having a much better understanding of whether it's his position in the offense, what the offense might be trying to do on that particular play, all the right way to attack the defense, all of those kind of things. Listen, uh, I mentioned it before. I'm sure I've done this. It's the Peyton Manning kind of theory here, where like you get better with reps, and sure you can get those in practice, but there is no real like simulation or no duplication for game speed. And it's football. Like, oh, the football player got hurt. Like I'm sure aggravated, but if you ask me, he like for one, he fell on the ground, like, and he had someone assisting him there. And what was breaking his fall? That elbow and that shoulder. So I mean, we can't bubble wrap him. We're at some point he's going to have to play, and this notion that he shouldn't be playing at all, blah blah blah, because oh well, he can just play next year. Well, for starters, we didn't play him preseason this year. What makes you think we'll do that next year? And more so, he's not like you. This isn't a video game. You can't just like go out there and do it. He has to like get into shape of doing it, especially in a sport like football, where it's not just him. It's the timing of him and his offensive line with cadences, the movement of whether it's a run play, play action, whatever. There is so much that goes into it, and that's why they practice over and over and over and over again.
Yeah, and
So they shouldn't
I
regret it. Sorry.
no, I'm gonna go back to what you said when you say it's just football. And that's my concern right there, bro. It is football. You're going to hit the ground. You're going to fall. You're going to take contact. If the elbow is still that bad, that even when it's padded, if it can't take the slightest amount of contact, like it's not like the elbow was repeatedly getting hit. It was whenever
Yeah,
the elbow was
it's
touched.
really that one time, at least for me.
Right. It was really when the elbows touched. That's when he's like, "Oh my god, it really hurts." And I'm like, then you do you think you should be playing then right now, bro? But I mean, like you said, he's a warrior. Him, his crew, his mom, everybody wants him to play. But at this point, even I am like, all right, bro, it's 3 games left, and the offense itself is inconsistent, and you yourself have not proven that you're able to protect yourself, bro. Like that's how we get in this situation in the first place. It's not because of
Yes.
anything skill wise. Like you're great. You're a good quarterback. I love it. I like seeing you play. But you're not protecting yourself, man. You're not playing the quarterback position the way it should be played with your skill set. Like he did it again on Sunday. He took a 1 yard sack when he was on the sideline. Just toss the ball forward.
So
And avoid the intentional ground, and then you'll be okay. So it's the particulars that are concerning, and it sucks because, like I said on Facebook, we're in a conundrum. He does need the snaps to learn those small practicalities of the position, but if I can't trust you enough to protect yourself when you're 95%, then I don't know, bro. Like I just you got to get the 100. It's just that simple.
So let me. I want to get in on a couple of things here. So for starters, the protecting yourself, 100% agree. I can't remember the number of total runs, whether it's scrambles, design runs, what have you. I believe the man, it's somewhere between 4 to 7 times that he's slid, not counting the diving head first, which he tends to do that. That's sort of his slide. Um, but that's something he's definitely going to have to add to his repertoire for
Did you
sure.
see that chart?
I did
There's a
not.
there's
I
a
did
chart going around with quarterbacks and the percentage of their scrambles and how many times they slid. And I think
Yeah, that's
Daniels
the one. Go ahead. My bad.
Daniels has a lower sliding percentage than Josh Allen, which
Yeah.
is ridiculous.
Yeah, and you factor in Josh Allen being like what, like 6'5", 250 or whatever he is, like 6'6" maybe. Um, anyway, you have that, and then let's dive deeper into the lack of protection and sliding. He's running more. We went into this season wanting to run less, so certainly missing weapons factors into it. But then it almost seems like there's this pressure for him to run more. And, if he's running to extend the play so that he can, make a pass downfield to an open Terry or, what have you, great. But trying to like just it reminds me of like when someone's dribbling the ball too much, like pass the ball, Kobe. Like it's kind of like that. Like, dude, like you can't do this all on your own. I don't know why
Stupid.
that came out weird. Um, and then I'll put this last part out there, which I understand. You saw what happened to Zach Ertz. And so all of a sudden you're like, oh, that, like maybe there is a little bit of like, kind of being gun shy a little bit, as far as Peters and Quinn are concerned. Um, but I'll also point out that while I appreciate them trying to show growth from the Seattle game and not letting Jayden Daniels go back out there, your man was slamming the helmet down and walking around. Like I believe he was fine. I think it was a little more of a scare. Like I don't doubt the elbow was sore and still not 100% if it's in that thing to begin with, but everybody's playing through things like that. So what I mean is perhaps if our record was much better and this game had some playoff implications as far as seeding, what have you, he probably would have gone back out there. I think he was. I think he was like he was okay. It was just like, oh, here's Jayden, and then mind you, this is the dude where everybody wanted to say like, oh, he's durable, but like this is about his fourth different injury. like third this year, I think.
Is
So
and that's another thing that's like
we got
ticking
to
me
figure some
off.
stuff out, like
Like, listen
I
though,
don't know what
bro,
the answer is.
it's not. People are acting like it's a leg injury, or something that's like devastating. It's just an injury. It's a football injury. Lamar Jackson had one.
Yeah.
Barrow had one this year. I
Yep.
still don't know how many games Brock Purdy played. So
Yeah.
like it happens. Like it will it happen throughout his career? Hopefully not. But this season is an injury riddled season. That simple. Do I think he's a
Yeah.
bust? Do I think he's RG3? No,
No.
and that's laziness, young. Like every time I see somebody say that, like I saw somebody comment, I told y'all I was trying to tell Washington fans that he was going to do this, he was going to do that, and da 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 da. So that's why I just been
Yeah.
quiet the whole season. No, you've been quiet the whole season because you saw in week 5 he destroyed the Chargers in LA, and you
Yep.
knew that he still had something in him. That's why you've been quiet because you're still scared. You
I
still
tell you,
fear 5.
it's funny you brought up Joe Burrow. There's actually an interview where Joe Burrow talks about this a little bit, and like speaking specifically on Jayden Daniels, and he more or less like he he's speaking in positives for Jayden Daniels, but then referencing his own situation, saying like, look, once I'm healthy, like I think people kind of, this is entertainment, but you also understand this is my job. He's like, I don't know why, like, once I'm good to go, regardless of what the game means, like, or, I'm going out, oh, it doesn't matter, or I'm going out there just trying to, like, not get hurt. He's like, no, he's like, this, I understand what I signed up for. And he's like, once I'm good to go, like, I'm expected to do my job and play football. And he's like, I don't understand why anybody would think otherwise. And he was kind of saying the same thing for Jaden. He's like, I kind of really hope that he can just get back to playing football and things like that. And I just thought it was really kind of cool to hear because I understand like nobody we don't want him getting hurt. I'm not advocating for any of that. I'm not like, oh, screw this. Let's ride him till the wheels fall off. Pause. But again, it's football. We gotta yeah, we gotta pull the reins back in. I think at times we're making adjustments, and then at times it seems like we're just hoping that he pulls a rabbit out of his you know what. And so, but yeah, I mean, we went all in. It didn't seem to work. Uh, Now Peters and maybe Quinn, I don't know. They have the task of trying to kind of we're in that. Hey, I reference the '80s movies all the time. So Quinn, Peters, the Commanders, they're all at that moment where whatever happened, now everybody's down on them. Now they're about to hit the gym. They're about to hit the whatever. Cue the music montage. Maybe next year we get up over that hill. That's how it works in the movies in the '80s and '90s. So that's what I'm
But
referencing.
that's what I've been telling you the whole season. Well, not the whole season, obviously not the whole season,
I don't
but
mean for
probably
this
since
year. I'm
after
talking about
the.
next year.
No,
No,
no, I know what you mean, but that's what I've been trying to say the whole. I keep saying the whole season, since maybe the Chiefs game. I'm gonna say the Chiefs games, or maybe yeah, I'm gonna say the Chiefs game. We and I say we, the organization. We're about to talk about them in a couple of seconds. The organization, the fans, the players, the coaches, Peters, the other front office people. I can't think of their name right now. We needed this. We needed this medicine for the 2025 season. Now I'm gonna
yeah,
keep it a buck. I might not be as severe as others because I told y'all entering the season, everybody was predicting like, oh, we're gonna win this many games, or we're gonna do this in the playoffs, or we're gonna win the Super Bowl. We're gonna make it back and win the Super Bowl. And I'm like, bruh, can we make it to the playoffs first? Do you know how deep the NFC is? And y'all just want to sit here and act like that it's going to be sweet and we just want to automatically make it back to the playoffs. Bam, 2025 in your face. Reality hits
yeah,
hard,
yeah.
and now we all going to be miserable in this off season. Well, not me because I actually like the off season, and I
Not
like
me.
when you got to build up, and I'm already looking at mock drafts and stuff. Like I'm spoiler alert. we're going to be talking about Caleb Downs a lot this offseason before the
I
draft.
saw you
But
posted.
nevertheless, um, yeah, like it is what it is. Like it needed to happen. But I actually, this is leading to the next topic. I wanted to understand what you were saying when you were talking about the organization and load management and trusting the process. Um, as you all know, Josh Harris is the owner of the Philadelphia 76ers as well, who started Trust the Process, where they purposely lost a lot of games in order to position themselves to get a lot of picks, to get free agents to come because they had a lot of money at the right time. And yeah, it didn't really work out for them. But nevertheless, it is a plan that they ran. And I'm trying to figure out what Eddie means by this.
Just I mean, you're kind of really hitting the nail right on the head. You factor in Magic Johnson, key advisor Bob Myers, all basketball guys. That's a very popular thing in the NBA is to rest players, not just for what you're saying as far as like, trying to get that number one, maybe even a top five pick by just essentially losing. Um, I just number one, my issue is that pick is not guaranteed to work out. Certainly, the chances of getting a greater potential should it work out is why you want to draft that high. But it's not a lock. It's not a guarantee. So that's the first thing. But then again, just like I said, simply bringing it back to like, is that what we're doing here? And it really kind of like ties into like who's making the decisions because if that's the case, I mean, I don't get the impression that Josh Harris is doing that he's kind of pulling a Snyder, like, hey, my kid went to high school with this guy, we're going to draft him, like that kind of thing. I don't think that's going on, but it just seems like that might be what's happening. I think a lot of it, like I said, was what happened to Zach Ertz, which you just feel terrible. Dude's 38, which you just feel so weird seeing guys that big. And I'm just like, oh, I'm older than them, even though I'm just some little Rudy sized average Joe. Anyway, yeah, you see what happened to Zach Ertz, and it just breaks your heart because more than likely, not just season over, but career probably over. I mean, maybe a slight chance of medicine today, but probably not.
I think
And
that it
he's
might be a wrap for my man, unfortunately.
yeah, and he's had a really good career. So it's not like he's got anything to prove. I think he's like third or fourth all time. Maybe it's yards or receptions. One of those he's up there for tight ends. But anyway, I think that's what affected the decision making because you got Dan Quinn, who, by the way, when Jayden's playing, it's just Jayden's playing like he's able to like be honest with us. But if he's not, you get like a word salad of just like all kinds of stuff, and he didn't aggravated it, but he re-aggravated it. Like he literally said that the other day. It was like, well, which is it? He can't do both, or can he? Anyway, um it just it's all tied into me. Like, is this the basketball side starting to come out? I am willing to trust the process because we're only in like what year 3 of ownership and going into year 2 of the Quinn Peters era. So I'm not over here like screaming the sky is falling, but it's just a thought, wondering out loud because you look at the obvious, like I said, with the basketball influence. That's all it is.
Okay, no, I get it. Especially, like I said, Josh Harris, man, the owner. You got Bob Harris. I mean, not Bob Harris. Wait, that is his name, ain't it? For the
Bob
Warriors,
Myers
Bob Myers. Okay, I'm sorry.
is the key advisor. I was trying to look up his title specifically, and it seems like they use him a lot for like looking at like a lot of the psyche and character traits for drafting guys. Like he assists Peters as well, but it says key advisor to Josh Harris is his
I think
title.
he's more. I think like
Consultant.
how can I explain that? Okay, y'all ever seen for the mamas that watch Power? the first iteration, the first version of Power. Um, if Harris is Ghost, Myers is definitely Tommy. He's
Tom
doing
Hagen.
he's doing a lot of
Right.
dirty work behind the scenes. He's like making the stuff that he's talking and doing the stuff that that Harris can't do. I think that's what Myers is doing, just on the executive level. So he's not even. It's not even about the Commanders. It's not even about the Sixers. It's about Josh Harris. Like you can't even say that Myers is part of a Hog. I can't even say that Myers is a part of the Harris ownership group
No,
because
he's
that's
not part of the ownership group. Like I said, they the way it reads, and I remember this at first. Like they kind of just brought him in to consult on like overall organizational kind of stuff was my understanding, but now it reads key advisor and says helps on character traits with draft prospects, I believe is what it said. Let me see if I still got this pulled up here. Yes. Bob Myers, the successful former Golden State Warriors general manager, hired by the Washington Commanders in early 2024 as key advisor to owner Josh Harris to help overhaul the franchise's leadership, focusing on identifying talent and building winning culture for the GM and head coach roles.
fair enough.
Yep.
Um, yeah, but I'll end both segments so far. I'll end it with this.
Uh,
This is a prelude to our 2024 season finale.
yeah.
It's not as bad as y'all think it is.
No,
Quinn isn't on a hot seat.
shouldn't be.
Peters isn't on a hot seat. It was an
Definitely should.
off year. It was an off year. Let's just call it that. It was an off year. They
It
dealt
was
with
the complete
injuries.
opposite of last year. All
Right.
everything that went right for us last year went wrong for us this year, and then some. Like
And
it's not
then some.
injuries. You look at like the way the ball bounced. Even sometimes it was like, my God. Like, don't get me wrong. Like the other team's trying to. We played some good teams, but like you can't like we everything was against us, and that's fine. It happens.
It happens. Like I said,
We've been on the winning side of this plenty of times.
the 49ers has this type of season like once every 3 years, and look at them this year. They're kind of having this season again,
Yep.
yet they're in prime
Yep. I
position to make
agree.
a playoff run. So yeah, like it's fine. Like relax. Like my man Jayden Nightwing says, popular battle rapper. Relax, relax. Who's not relaxing and probably should be relaxing right now? This man, Philip Rivers, who has a you
Gracious
remember you
me.
ever heard that Father Abraham song? Has many sons, and many sons has Father Abraham. It's a famous Christian song, kid Christian song or whatever. This man, Philip Rivers, is like Abraham in the Bible, man. He the father of everybody. Got this man returning back to play for the Colts because they lost their starting quarterback in Daniel Jones. They lost their original starting quarterback and Anthony Richardson. Sam Ellinger, who replaced Daniel Jones, he's now injured. So it's like you're either going to start Brett Ripken or bring back 45-year-old Philip Rivers. And I think the oldest player in the league was you mentioned it, Eddie, in the chat, is George Blanda, right?
I believe he's
Non
the
kicker,
oldest
non
player.
kicker.
Well, he did both. He was a
Okay,
quarterback and kicker.
okay,
I mean,
cool.
your man was out there like really looking like a grandpa.
Okay.
Uh, I'm trying to look up where it started. I mean, obviously, it's got to be an offensive type of relationship, but Philip Rivers, according to Shane Steichen, the head coach of the Colts, he's like Philip Rivers invented this offense. Is basically what he said. And apparently, Rivers, who's coaching his son's high school football team, has been running that offense as well. Now, according to him, he's in plenty of good shape to hand the ball off. And with Jonathan Taylor, that's actually not a bad gig, right? But is he in football shape? Because they got, you got is it Tyler Warren? It's something Warren, their tight end. He's a rookie. He's definitely playing well. He's legit. You got Michael Pittman. You
Yep.
got what's my man's name? Is it You messed me up with the Downs thing because it's something along those lines. Pierce,
Josh. No, Josh is the quarterback.
there,
Um,
there's someone with a name like that plays
no, it is Josh Downs. That's his brother. That's Caleb
Josh
Downs'
Downs, and
brother.
then you got the Pierce guy over there too. So they got some weapons outside of Jonathan Taylor as well. So you kind of just wonder, like at that age, I mean, like
I'm
what?
really intrigued to see it though, bro. I
Oh,
really
for
am
sure. Like Steve Young
intrigued.
was talking about it on PTI the other day. He's like, "Look, if Philip
That's
Rivers
good to
balls
hear
out."
from Steve Young.
He's like, if Philip Rivers balls out, he's like Jerry Rice and I already talked about it. We're coming out of retirement too.
Chill. No, I saw that Tostitos commercials. Jerry Rice, nah, bro.
Oh my God.
It
Yep.
just ain't
Randy
it.
Moss and a bunch of those guys. Emmett Smith. Yep.
It just ain't it.
Um, there's been a bunch of like what is it? LaDainian Tomlinson's coming out of retirement now, and Eddie Lacy's coming out of retirement. Like there's a bunch coming out that are
Eddie Lacy is crazy because he probably should still be playing right now. He can't be that old, right?
not sure.
I'm checking now. But oh nah, I'm tripping. That man only a year younger than me. He definitely shouldn't be playing keep it a buck. At 35, you should not be playing professional football. And it's crazy. His birthday 2 days before mine too, so he's
Oh
actually like
wow.
a whole year younger than me. January. Oh, I'm sorry. That's a June 2nd. My bad. My bad. That's on me. I saw the J and the two. I thought it said JAN2 and not June 2. So that's on me. But nevertheless, forget Eddie Lacy. We're talking about the Colts, and yeah, I am intrigued because in this day and age, the quarterback is protected unless you Jayden
Yeah,
Daniels
for sure.
put yourself in danger. Um, you won't. You'll be relatively healthy. Now, can he get blindside hit or whatever? Sure, but I'm pretty sure that he's smart enough, and the Colts offensive staff is smart enough to protect him and the ball and rely heavily on their running game, the short, quick pass and attack. And yeah, it's going to be interesting because the playoff picture, man, it's it's
Wow.
it's one of those. It's one of those seasons. Let's say that. Um,
Oh yeah.
Last year it wasn't as bad, even though Washington had to wait until like week before the last week of the season in order to qualify for the playoffs. It still isn't as bad. I mean, it still wasn't bad last year, but this year is it's kind of nuts, young. It's a lot of teams that are winning a lot of games this season. I'm trying to pull up the stats, but my computer decided it wanted to start tripping at the worst possible time, but it's all cool. Or maybe it's just this trash NFL website that is giving me the business. But nevertheless, um, I'm
Business.
pulling it up now. I do know in the 1 seed. Let's start with the AFC. I do know the Broncos are in the 1 seed. They're pretty much a lock for the playoffs right now, along with the Patriots. The Jaguars are the 3rd seed and might be in the driver's spot in that AFC South, man. They may run away with that division in the last 4 games. Even though the Texans, they kind of, that defense, you can't sleep on them. The Steelers are the 4th seed. They beat the Ravens on Sunday. Chargers the 5th seed, Bills the 6th seed, and the four previously mentioned Texans are the 7th seed. And yeah, the Colts are on the bubble along with the Ravens and Chiefs. And that's another thing right now because if you go to the NFC side, the Rams are 1, the Packers are 2. I'm gonna skip 3 for a second and move to 4, the Buccaneers. The Seahawks, 49ers, they're the 5th and 6th seed, and they probably will lock up those 2 seeds. With the Bears being the final seed at 7. You got the Lions, Panthers, and Cowboys floating around for that 7 seed. But the Cowboys are in the play for the NFC East because the 3 seed Philadelphia Eagles are plumbing right now. Like they're really, really falling. They've lost their last 3 games, bro. They had a chokehold on the NFC East, but now with 3 games to go, um, if they don't win another game and Dallas wins their last 3 games, it's a wrap for Philly.
Hmm.
I don't think it'll happen because they play the Raiders this weekend. But if y'all listen to what I said, as of now, the Bills, they're the 6th seed. The Chiefs, they're out the playoffs. I didn't even say anything about the Commanders because they're already eliminated from the playoffs. We're a couple of weeks away from literally having the possibility that all four NFL championship games, contenders, I'm sorry, or participants is the more better word. Eagles, Commanders, Bills, Chiefs. All four of those teams can miss the playoffs. Commanders are already out. Chiefs got one foot out the door.
Hmm.
The Bills, who knows with them? They can choke at any time because and there are AFC teams ready to pounce if they do. And the Eagles are already free falling right now. So, bro, like, what if it actually happens? I don't think it is. I think the Eagles and Bills are going to find a way in. But losing half is bad enough.
I don't see it as a bad thing. I really don't. You always want, you know, for lack of a better term, fresh meat. You always want something new, something exciting, something a little different. People don't want to see like these dynasties are cool for a little bit, but then it's almost like you start to overdo it now. Like, all right, I'm tired of seeing this team win all the time. I want to see somebody dethrone them, and that's not exactly what is happening here. They kind of more in these teams' cases are dethroning themselves, but just the idea there's excitement. And I mean, that AFC picture is wild because I don't know that they're necessarily like a major threat to make the playoffs so much as to spoil other teams' playoff hopes. But Houston, you look at their situation with, Stroud missing time. What's my guy's name? The receiver I traded to you, the Penn State guy, the tall Nico Collins. He missed a game or two. They don't have Laramie Tunsil because we got him from a trade. But defensively, like they held the Chiefs. Like, did they didn't shut the Chiefs out, did they? No, no way. But still, they held the Chiefs to like what, 15, 14 points. Yeah, like anyway, they're balling, man. They're like defensively, they're definitely balling. They're one of the better defenses. So I think they could definitely spoil some people's fun. And then you kind of mentioned like who's just on the outskirts. Like that's going to be a tight race just in the AFC alone. NFC, I don't know. I think it might be a little bit closer to chalk. I don't feel like there's as much parity. I feel like a lot of the talents in the AFC. Um, but I will tell you, man, just on the Rivers thing, as I'm thinking about it, like how wild is it? You got Rivers, Flacco, and Aaron Rodgers still playing now. You just waiting on like Eli and Drew Brees to maybe make an appearance, or even Roethlisberger. But
Yeah.
the
Uh,
parody, man, like that's the beautiful thing about this. Like it's gonna be fun to see. Like I don't know who it's gonna be, but that's the best part.
yeah,
Is
that
like
is, I get you with that.
courage.
I just, it just sucked because 3 of those 4 teams I really like.
Oh well, hey man, it be like that
And
sometimes.
unfortunately, one of
Washington
the
be like
teams,
that a lot of the time.
honestly, and I guess we could end the show with this. They deserve a little more time to being the defending Super Bowl champions and all, but I really feel like they're a Hurts awakening away from repeating that Super Bowl champions. It's not like it's not like the sky is falling, but the solution is so simple that I'm like, they'll figure it out. Before the season's over, they'll figure something out because it's not like they're getting blown out or it's not like they're
No, but
beating themselves.
Saquon,
It's just
I was gonna
they
say
can't.
Saquon is doing his thing. You know what I mean? And so when you
Well, that's
have coming off,
understandable. Like it's they like teams are keying in on it. They had like people said with Jayden Daniels, they had a whole off season to figure it
yep.
out. So like I say, it is what it is. But at the end of the day, like I say, it's going to be on Hurts if he continues
Oh
to
well, yeah,
be
that's
inaccurate
gonna be
and
my point.
consistent. They're not going to make it far. They're out round one, like low key. They're out round one. But if he can find some sort of consistency, some sort of accuracy, if he could grow from, if he could grow 2% in the next 5 weeks, I think Philly going to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, all I was saying is like when you have Saquon like not doing what he did last year, and then you factor in kind of sort of the up and downness with Hurts and like the whole thing going on with him and AJ Brown and all that. I think it just really kind of like it magnifies sometimes that even the best teams are like a thread or two away from just kind of coming unraveled. I will say this, man, and it's not to like necessarily pile on Hurts with the game he had this past week, but I don't know in my life outside of video games that I've ever
I know what
seen
you about to say.
an interception, offensive team forces the fumble, recovers the fumble, and I mean the crazy thing is your man Hurts recovers it, and people can't really see it, but you the typical hands up high, elbows pointed outward, and Hurts has the ball, and then as soon as he's got it and like boom, poked out, defense recovers the ball that they intercepted in the first place. I was like, man, and
That
then
play literally cost me a game last week. I lost
well,
like 10 points on that one play. It's crazy.
that's rough. Well, but then what's crazy is like I was watching the game, but then I think I went on to like I was doing some laundry. I maybe like started playing some video games too, and he had already had some turnovers. But come to find out, I think that man had like 4 or 5 total turnovers. Like, ooh,
Yeah, he had like 4 interceptions and that fumble on the interception.
whew,
I'm like, bruh, how did you like? I
not a
don't
good
know.
day. Not a
It
good
is
time.
what it is. But like I said, they had all of that right. They had all of that. 3 turnovers. I mean,
Ooh,
3 interceptions and a fumble. They had all of that. The game still went to overtime, and they
that's a
were
good
driving
point.
to win the game too. And it just was unfortunate. So that's all I'm saying. Like, and I'm gonna end the show with this. They were playing the Chargers in LA, right? And you saw how Hurts was struggling.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, my man Fire lit them up, had them for
Yep.
lunch. Him and
And
Debo
it
was
was
getting
earlier
them
in the season,
dances
so they
before
were
the
fresher.
touchdown. So like, yeah, like leave Five alone. He'll be all
Yeah.
right. And we're
Yeah.
gonna holler at y'all down this next week.
Yep. A holiday season's approaching, everybody. Just whether it has to do with seasonal depression or just in general, check in on your folks. Let people know how you feel. Let them know, in a positive way, please. I don't, if there's some issues, I'm not saying you gotta go on like, yeah, yeah, yeah. Remember that, like, anyway. Yeah, for real. On a positive note, check in on your peoples. Make sure everybody knows, like, if it's someone who is valuable in your life in some way, shape, or form, like let them know that. You know what I mean? It could mean all the world to that person. It could make their day. It could be something that keeps them from falling off the wagon in one way or another. So yeah, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and well, you know what I'm saying. Like, I don't just mean in regards to alcohol. It could be drugs. It could be about to
I'm
like life.
laughing at your shirt, young. I just realized what it said.
Oh, yeah. Hey, look, man. You down with JC? I'm down with JC.
As they say, he is risen. That is crazy. But nah, my brother is right, man. Especially during this holiday season. Just check in with folks, lock in with folks, try to be around some people. Spread the holiday cheer, like they said. Like
Yes.
if you're not feeling upbeat or whatever for the rest of the year, try your best to feel upbeat around this time of the year. It's the end of the year. You survive 11 months, man. Just rock
Yep.
out for the last 31 days of the year, or now we're at 20 days of the year. And yeah, all will be, man. All will be well, man. Trust your risen Savior, and it'll all be good, man. For real.
For sure. For sure. Happy holidays and Merry Christmas, everybody. Still got some time, but happy holidays, Merry Christmas just the same.